Welcome to the Property Code. I am Nick, and today we are answering the question-filling search bars from Buffalo to Bakersfield. How to buy your first rental property. The most common spins on that query right now are house hacking, debt service coverage loans, best cities for first-time landlords, midterm rentals near hospitals, rental property calculator, and how to buy with little money down. If that sounds like your feed, settle in. We are going to turn those searches into a step-by-step plan for 2025. Meet Rowan, a 32-year-old ultrasound tech in Milwaukee. Her rent has climbed 3 springs in a row, and every raise feels like a reminder that she's building someone else's equity. On a gray Tuesday, she writes a single sentence on a yellow sticky note. By next December, I want one door that lowers my living costs and pays me to learn. That sentence becomes her compass. Rowan starts where most beginners skip. She defines a buy box. She chooses 3 neighborhoods within a 15-minute drive of 2 hospitals and a transit hub. She prefers small multifamily, specifically a duplex or triplex, with off-street parking and separate utilities. She draws 2 hard lines. First, the flood map must be clear. Second, the property must feel safe at dusk. Online tools help, but she still visits at sunrise and after dark to watch traffic and lighting. She is not hunting for perfect, she is hunting for workable. Next, she learns quick math she can do on her phone. She gathers signed lease comps, not wishful listings, and assumes at least 1 month of vacancy each year. For a simple duplex, she uses an expense ratio between roughly 30 and 40% of rent before debt service. She adds property taxes, insurance, a maintenance reserve, any utilities she must carry, and a management line even if she starts as a self-manager, because time is not free. If rent minus vacancy and expenses still leaves a cushion after the projected mortgage, the deal graduates to a showing. If the cushion only appears when she deletes reserves, she passes. Financing is where 2025 offers more paths than headlines admit. Owner-occupied loans allow small down payments on 1 to 4 unit homes if you live in 1 unit for a year. Veterans may qualify for zero down options. Rural buyers can explore special programs. Many states still run down payment assistance for first-timers under income caps. Debt service coverage loans size the mortgage by property income rather than pay stubs, helpful for self-employed buyers once a unit is leased. Community development financial institutions sometimes lend to workforce housing at flexible terms. Assumable mortgages exist on certain loans and can be a shortcut to a lower rate if the seller agrees to a second note for the remaining equity. Rowan builds a simple rule: favor fixed-rate debt, keep leverage moderate, and never close without at least 3 months of expenses in cash. 6 is better. She tours 6 places and keeps notes as if she were grading homework. The first house has charm and a sagging porch. The second smells of fresh paint over old problems. The third is a brick duplex with a long driveway, separate gas and electric, and a nurse on the upper floor who pays on time and would like to renew. The lower unit is vacant and clean. The list price sits in the high 300s. Local property managers confirm that fair rent for each unit is about $1,800. Taxes and insurance land around $500 a month. Rowan budgets $300 for maintenance and common utilities, and she keeps a vacancy line equal to 1 month a year. With a small down payment and a rate in the mid 6% range, her projected payment is close to $2,000. After expenses and vacancy, the numbers show a small cushion if she lives in the lower unit, plus a dramatic drop in her personal housing cost. The spreadsheet does not sing, but it does not scream. That is enough to write. Offer time is when clarity beats charisma. Rowan submits slightly below asking, asks for a seller credit toward a permanent rate buy-down, and requests flexible closing dates to help the seller move gracefully. She includes inspection, appraisal, and financing contingencies. The seller counters higher but agrees to the credit. Rowan says yes and opens the floodgates of due diligence. Inspections are tuition she is glad to pay. She orders a general inspection, a sewer scope, and an HVAC evaluation. She confirms roof age, checks for double-tapped breakers, tests water pressure, and looks for signs of prior leaks around the tub. She asks the city about any required rental license and schedules it for after closing. She reads the existing lease and verifies deposits with proof, not promises. Title work reveals a tiny lien for a past contractor. The title company clears it before closing. Insurance quotes confirm she is not walking into a money pit. Every issue becomes either a repair, a concession, or a reason to walk. She ends up negotiating a price reduction for a few $1,000s to replace an aging water heater and to snake a partially clogged line. The deal still stands. Operations begin before keys change hands. Rowan picks a property management app, writes a fair and consistent screening policy, and uses written income and credit standards to avoid bias and headaches. She adds rent reporting so on-time payments help the tenant's credit profile. She installs a smart water main shutoff and leak sensors under sinks. She labels the breaker panel and leaves a laminated contact sheet on the refrigerator with clear instructions for emergencies. Small systems create calm days. By spring, her upstairs tenant renews with a modest increase that respects both wages and inflation. Rowan keeps her reserve sacred and adds to it every month. She learns to replace a wax ring and a faucet cartridge, but she hires licensed pros for electrical and gas. The duplex does not make her rich, it makes her stable. Her monthly out-of-pocket housing cost has dropped sharply, and her mortgage principal now falls every month while the building quietly appreciates. 2025 trends help thoughtful beginners. Cities continue to legalize accessory dwelling units, opening a path to add a small backyard home and boost income without buying land again. Green upgrades like heat pumps and insulation can qualify for rebates and sometimes lower insurance premiums. Lenders increasingly price that lower utility risk into their terms. Builders with inventory often offer rate incentives on nearby new construction, which matters if your next move is to buy a primary residence and keep the duplex as a full rental. Artificial intelligence mapping tools can highlight blocks where transit upgrades, hospital expansions, or logistics hiring point to durable demand. Use the tools, then verify with your own eyes and conversations on the street. As Rowan looks to door number 2, she considers a midterm rental for travel nurses, a model that can beat traditional rent without the regulatory churn of nightly stays. She reads her city rules closely and confirms that a minimum stay of 1 month is permitted. She also explores a debt service coverage loan for the next purchase, since the duplex now produces verifiable income. Her guardrails remain the same: fixed rate debt when possible, conservative vacancy assumptions, durable finishes, transparent expectations. Let us turn her path into your checklist in plain language. Set one measurable goal for cash flow and reserves. Pick 3 neighborhoods with real employers and a reasonable commute. Define your buy box by property type, utility separation, and safety. Learn the quick math and include a vacancy month, an expense ratio, and a management line even if you self-manage. Interview at least 2 lenders and ask about owner-occupied terms, assistance programs, and the mechanics of a permanent rate buy-down. When you write, ask for credits that improve the payment, not just shiny upgrades. During diligence, inspect everything and read every document. After closing, automate rent and maintenance tickets, add leak sensors, and treat your tenant like a long-term partner. Repeat slowly. A final word about fear. The first rental is not about striking gold, it is about striking habits. Habits like underwriting with conservative numbers, protecting reserves, fixing small problems before they grow, and communicating clearly. In a year, you will not remember the jitters from your first offer, but you will see the mortgage balance lower and your playbook sharper. That is how portfolios begin. One door, lived-in lessons, and a mind that stays curious. Thank you for spending time with the Property Code. If this episode nudged you from scrolling to acting, write your 1-sentence goal tonight and pick the 3 neighborhoods to study this weekend. The path gets easier with each step.